Alright. Hi, everyone, and welcome to TWF Friday Night Smackdown. I, Michael Cole, here with Sarah Shaver and Corey Graves. And today on Friday Night Smackdown, we're going to see, and today on Friday Night Smackdown, we're going to see the TWF Women's Heavyweight winning. We're going to have the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter, Roxanne Perez, be here today because she has something to tell everyone, Michael Cole says, about how she beat, Ember Moon yesterday. Well, no, she beat Ember Moon on Dynamite or Mike, and about how she thinks that she is the greatest. How she thinks she's the greatest of all the TWF women's heavyweight fighters out there. Michael says, well, you're right about that one, Sarah Shaver says. On Dynamite or Mike, here we go. On Dynamite or Mike, that Roxanne Perez beat Ember Moon, which AEW folks might know her as Athena. And even though she need be still the ROH women's heavyweight fighter in AEW, she is no longer can say the same thing here, here in the TWF, because she lost the TWF women's heavyweight winnings, on Dynamite or Mike, to Roxanne Perez, So, Sarah Shaver says, oh yeah, Corey Graves says, Roxanne Perez is going to make a great TWF women's heavyweight fighter, and I hear that she got something to tell. Shit. I heard she's going to tell everyone what she thinks of the TWF women's team. Alright, I can't stand up now? Everyone, my name is Roxanne Perez, and I am only 22 years old. And when I started out in the ROW, the Booker Charmel Ruffman business, I was only, we'll say, 8 between years old when I won the ROW women's heavyweight winnings. Then I went to ROH back when St. Clair owned it, and I won the ROH women's heavyweight winnings. The first one. The same one Amber Moon's been behaving as if she's the greatest of them. I won that the first time. Then I went to WWE, and I became not only a WWE NXT women's tag team fighter, but a 2-time WWE NXT women's heavyweight fighter. And the longest lording one, you can thank me for that again. And I'm going to do the same thing here in the TWF. You see, you might have the TWF women tag team fighters. You maybe have the women's world heavyweight fighter. Dakota Kai. But who really gives a shit? And you in WWE, you might, who gives a shit? Ember Moon, you think you were so cool, Ember Moon. Look at me, I'm Ember Moon. Look at me, I'm Athena. Look, I'm the longest lording ROH women's heavyweight fighter in AEW. Yeah, sucks to be you, right? At least in the TWF, it sucks to be you. You know what? Your run in WWE didn't go very well. Yeah, you may have won the WWE NXT Women's Heavyweight winnings. You lost it to Shayna Baszler. Then you went to Smackdown. You went to Raw. They didn't fuck with you. You went to Smackdown, didn't do fuck with you. Then you were NXT again, and then you won the WWE NXT Women's Tag Team winnings when that was a thing, before it wasn't a thing. You're not so cool, Ember Moon, Athena. I beat you, so that makes me the greatest. Why don't you shut up, Roxanne Perez? Or should I call you Cara Gonzalez, because that's your true name. You seem to think that you're the greatest of all the TWF women heavyweight fighters, or women world heavyweight fighters. Do you know that winning goes back to 23rd between FYL, and before that there wasn't a TWF women's heavyweight winnings? Are you aware, Roxanne Perez, that I am still the ROH women's heavyweight fighter in AEW? Oh, I know that you are a former ROW women's heavyweight fighter and the first ROH women's heavyweight fighter. I was there when you first came. Oh, and I'm aware of you being a two-time WWE NXT women's heavyweight fighter and a one-time WWE NXT women's tag team fighter. Yeah, I'm quite aware of that. But let me tell you something. I was a former WWE NXT women's heavyweight fighter, a former WWE NXT women's tag team fighter when that was a thing. I wish I could be back in WWE so I could kick your rear there. But no, I'm in ROH. Yeah, that was my... I'm in AEW, and that was my mistake. But I'm still the AEW ROH women's heavyweight fighter, and there's nothing you can do about that. Yeah, and I'm still the WWE NXT women's heavyweight fighter, and there's nothing you can do about that, Ember Moon. So let me just tell everyone right now that I think I'll be the greatest of the OVW, WWE, TNA, AEW, whatever, MLW, whatever women's you want, a team you want to say the greatest, WWE, whatever. I know I'm the greatest of all of them. Well, if you are the greatest of all of them, Roxanne Perez, you won't mind putting putting that winning back on stake against me. If you think you're so great, then you can put it back on row, against me. Well, let me think about that. I want to say, no, I don't think I'm going to be doing that. So, run along, Ember Moon, or Athena, or whatever they want to call you these days, and show play that you're the greatest women's wrestler out there. Ember Moon, I do stand with Ember Moon, and I think, Roxanne Perez, that Ember Moon should have another shot for the TWF Women's Heavyweight winnings. And even though you might not like Ember Moon or Athena or whatever you want to call her, I think she should have another match. And I think that match will be here today on Friday Night Smackdown. Because the old saying, when I used to do sport casting on Smackdown, not once but 2 times, I'd say we fight here on Friday nights. Get a Fight Lord in the ring now. Well, now the Fight Lord can't stand up anymore. Well, alright. This match is for the TWF. This match is for the TWF Women's Heavyweight winnings. First, she is Ember Moon. And she is the TWF Women's Heavyweight fighter, Roxanne Perez. So, what's the first thing you got to do, Michael Cole says, if you want to beat Ember Moon? By the way, this is the 9 between 98 YL offshoot of Women's Heavyweight winnings. which was withdrawn in 2010. Well, that was the offshoot they worked at that time. Oh, and Ember Moon right now is in a bind right now because Roxanne Perez is just beating her up, Michael Cole says, with a saga of body slams, and clothes rows and a drop kick. Well, I can tell you what, Sheriff Shaver says the thing you want to do is you have to have a game goal. You got to know how to wrestle. You got to know how to fight. And we all know Ember Moon, Athena, knows how to wrestle and how to fight. Yeah, well, maybe that's true, but her run, that need be true. That need be true, Sarah. But we all know Ember Moon's run in WWE wasn't all that great. She did good on NXT. Raw and Smackdown, they didn't do much with her. She did good in her 2-time NXT, and then they let her go. And here we go right now. Corey Graves says, I do not see her winning the TWF Women's Heavyweight winning for the 3rd time. Oh, and Roxanne Perez right now seems to think she's the greatest women wrestler out there, Michael Cole says, because she came from ROW and ROH before coming to WWE, or the TWF. And wait a minute, Ember Moon got her. Oh, the Eclipse. Ember Moon's going to do the Eclipse or the block. Ember Moon hopes to become a 3-time TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter, Michael Cole says. If it happens, Sarah Shaver says, then Roxanne Perez will have to eat all those words that she was saying. All that scathing and shaming and guilting that she was saying earlier, Sarah Shaver says. Well, I can tell you what, Corey Graves, it'll take a lot more than that to beat Roxanne Perez. 1, 2, and a kick out. Roxanne Perez kicked out. So no, Ember Moon's going to have to do it again. Yeah, Ember Moon, you can do all your high-flying shit and think you're the coolest wrestler because you're still the ROH Women's Heavyweight Fighter in AEW, but big deal about that one. Corey Graves says. Michael Cole says she's going to hit her with the Eclipse or the block again. This time she hopes she's going to beat Roxanne Perez. Will it happen? Wait a minute, Roxanne Perez has got the strap. And, she just nailed Ember Moon with it. Ding, ding, ding. The winner of this match, of a throw out, Ember Moon. But since the strap cannot shift hands on a reckoning out or a throw out, still TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter, Roxanne Perez. Hey, Michael Cole said, hey, Corey Graves says, she outwitted Ember Moon. That's what happens. Brute might can always will always be outwitted by wisdom. What Corey Graves says. So Ember Moon can behave as if she still thinks she's the greatest women's wrestler out there because she's the ROH Women's Heavyweight Fighter, in WWE and AEW. But she got outwitted by Roxanne Perez here today. It was so great. Well, Sarah Shaver says, that doesn't take much for you to have onlook for. But at the end of the day, no one will onlook what Roxanne Perez did today. No one's going to call her the greatest or the mightiest or the onlook, TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter. No one's never going to say that about her, Sarah Shaver says. Well, Michael Cole says, at the end of the day, Roxanne Perez is still a TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter due to her hitting Ember Moon with the TWF Women's Heavyweight strap. And yes, it is true that straps do not shift hands on reckoning outs or throw outs. So yeah, Roxanne Perez is still the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter. Ember Moon wins the match. Well, Michael Cole says, I don't think Roxanne Perez can be happy with her behavior for what she did here today on Friday Night Smackdown. All right, take it away, Bob Walk. Thank you, Michael Cole and Shira Shaver. I'm going to be talking with Roxanne Perez here today on Friday Night Smackdown. Alright, Roxanne Perez, you say you're the greatest of all the TWF women heavyweight fighters out there. Yes, I'm true. I'm the greatest. I'm the mightiest. I outwitted Amber Moon, Athena, whatever you want to call her, Bob Walk. And you know, at the end of the day, that's all cool in my book. You should saw a look on her leer when I hit her with the TWF women's heavyweight winnings. Yeah, I did. And I don't really think anyone's going to be onlooking you for that. Oh, and I don't really think anyone's going to be onlooking you for being a former club ball player who shifted broadcaster, who's only well known for falling out of his seat and club ball games. But anyway, at least I get onlook. I can't speak for you. A lot of folks tend to onlook me for things. It isn't about me. Slight things, shaming and scathing me is not going to take away that you did it, that was a cheap win. That's your belief there. That's your thought there, Bob. And there's no truth for you, no truth to back it up. And I don't have to have, Bob Walk written at the bottom of at the board with my seats on it. I guess I don't. But I had no running lead over who did that. Well, that's my talk with Roxanne Perez. Back to you, Michael Cole and Sarah Shaver. Thank you, Bob Walk, for talking with Roxanne Perez here today on Friday Night Smackdown. And that's all the time we got here. I, Michael Cole, with Sarah Shaver and Corey Graves. We hope you like Friday Night Smackdown, and we'll see you tomorrow for Collision or Hit.